Good afternoon, my people. What is going on? It is your main man, Charles Tank Harris, the founder and chief visionary officer of the financial literacy platform Wealth Our Way, where our motto is wealth is not only for the wealthy. I welcome each and every one of you to episode 164, Gifts That Keep on Giving. And I got to shout out new Wealth Our Way Nation member Levon Chansey for bringing this topic to the forefront. As I tell you guys all the time, please text, inbox, put in the chat, email, on the YouTube page, whatever you want to do. Just, let me know what topics you want to discuss, and I'm here to discuss them. But before we get into today's discussion, I want to practice the attitude of gratitude and say thank you to each and every one of you who are here with me as we stream live across the Wealth Our Way Facebook page and the Wealth Our Way Network YouTube page. I also want to give that Wild Nation salute to all the members of Wild Nation who will watch this program in its pre-recorded state overnight, over the weekend, on their lunch break, wherever you can squeeze 15 minutes of financial literacy in. And last but not least, a heartfelt how are you to the good folks on the Life 101 platform who listen to the audio of this very here program. So today's topic is a beautiful topic to discuss. We've touched on it slightly in the past, but I don't think we've ever dedicated a full program to it. And as I said, Levon had asked in the chat that we cover a topic that allows us to teach our children, our loved ones, other people who we touch, how to get financial literacy, how to get a sense of wealth generation, wealth building through things a lot of times when we want to show our love to people, we buy them things. We want to show our love to people, we give them gifts that cost us money. Well, as you learn here at Wealth Our Way in 15 Minutes of Finance on the Financial Power Hour, investing is you taking money and allocating it to something. I'm very careful with my words. I don't like to say that investments cost money. I'm very, very particular with how I specify the difference between the price of something and the cost of something. If I put $100 into an ETF, which is an exchange traded fund, which will grow in value, I didn't spend $100. It didn't cost me $100. The price that I paid was $100. And I will see a value from that price that I paid. When I spent my time at New York Life illustrating life insurance all the time, that was a conversation I had in almost everybody's living room. The difference between cost and price. Cost is something that you're spending, and you're probably not going to recoup the dollars that you are spending. Price is something that you pay, and you can pay into something that grows, or you can choose to pay for something that will not return your investment, not return your money, a depreciating asset. So when Levon asked me to discuss things that we could do, the holidays, birthdays, graduation gifts, just showing our love to our children, our nieces, our nephews, other people who we buy things for, instead of buying them a pair of Nikes or buying them the new video game console or taking them on a trip to Disney, there is a place for all of those things in our lives. But instead of doing those things every single time, could we set up some type of investment or savings program for you guys? Excuse, Coco is going crazy. I don't know if y'all can hear Coco, but that's my dog and she's barking. You would think she's a big dog, but she's a little thing and always aggressive. So forgive me, working from home has Coco in the background. With that being said, going back to the topic at hand, I want to touch on 3 different ideas that I believe will help anybody who is looking to not only put an investment into the life of someone that they love, but also introduce them to the wonderful world of financial literacy and help them understand the difference between spending their money and growing their money. So the first thing I want to cover is how we actually go about giving gifts to people. This is a topic that is a little foreign to a lot of my clients as well as my audience online. What is the legal way to give money to someone else? A lot of times parents will go about opening accounts that they open in their own name or they may add a child to an account that they own. This is the wrong way to go about trying to establish something for your child. And I'm going to tell you why it's the wrong way. First and foremost, legally, by structure, the tax man will go to the person whose name is on the account. So if you are opening an account as an adult that you intend to be for your child, you need to open it solely in your child's name, and there is a legal structure to do so. Going to the bank and opening an account as Charles Harris and then putting my daughter Sydney Harris on the account does not set up the proper procedures of giving Sydney her own money in her own account. Secondly, when you look to gift money to a child, there are limits each year that you individually can gift to a child. Right now in 2022, that limit is $16,000. So once again, I have clients that range the complete financial spectrum. I have some clients that barely make, twice $16,000. So they're never going to say to me, well, I need to know what that limit is. Conversely, I have clients that play in the NBA and the NFL and run small businesses who do the $16,000 per couple, per person, and actually gift $32,000 a child. So I have to be well versed in understanding everyone's situation. But the limit is $16,000. This doesn't mean that you cannot give more than $16,000. It just gets complicated after $16,000. So you want to keep it under $16,000. If you go over $16,000, you can go into your annual gift lifetime exclusion. It's a lot of craziness that we don't really want to concern ourselves with. If we are in a situation where we're balling out of control and we are touching that $16,000 limit, what I would suggest is to get another person to gift the money to the child. So, and it's nothing illegal with me giving my child $16,000 and saying, oh, I'm at the limit. I'm going to give my sister $16,000. I'm allowed to gift it to her. And she just happens to choose to gift money to my daughter. So there are ways around things. There are legal ways to do things. All rules are meant to be followed, but they are also meant to be accurately followed. They're meant for you to look at the rule and see what the spirit of it is and how you can operate inside of it. So $16,000 is the limit. The second thing that I want to touch on are the different vehicles that you can use. So depending on how old your child is, when I was at New York Life, I actually used to promote a product that we coined the $1 Million Baby. It was a life insurance cash value product that could be done with a whole life product. It could be done with a limited pay whole life product. It could be done with an index universal life product, any product that grows cash value. I preferred limited pay whole life policies. I went into what a limited pay whole life policy on my All About Insurance webinar a few months back. You guys are more than welcome to look that up. But if you send me a message wanting to know a little bit more about the different types of insurance, I will answer any emails or questions on it. But when I did the $1 Million Baby program, what this actually allowed was for you to pay into a cash value life insurance policy in the name of the child. You could continue owning it, but the child was the primary insured. What most parents did or grandparents did is they owned the policy. They made the child the insured, and then they made the child or a trust the successor owner. So if anything were to happen to them, the ownership of the policy would go to the child or a trust, but the child stayed the insured throughout. Why would you do it? A lot of times when we talk about insurance on children, it's a touchy topic. People get the wrong idea. When you are looking at insurance as a savings vehicle, one of the best options of doing it is on a child, because if you've learned anything through my conversations about life insurance, a portion of the money goes to pay all of the costs associated with insuring the person, and then the rest of the money goes into a sub account or a savings account. Well, I've talked to you before about life insurance being a discriminatory product. It discriminates against health. It discriminates against age. Unless you have a child ailment, which happens, there's normally no one healthier and no one younger than a child. So the cost of insuring a child is much, much smaller than the cost of insuring an adult. So if I put $100 of premium in for Tank at 52 years of age and heavyset, 80% of that $100 may go to the cost of insuring me. If I put $100 on my nephew who was just born 3 weeks ago, less than 1% may go to the cost of insuring him. Thus, 99% goes to the savings account. That is what you're looking to do. You're looking to put as much money into the growth part of the policy as then to the insurance part of the policy. So what these $1 million baby policies did, clients would buy the policies for their young children, birth to 5 years old. They would pay into it until their child graduated from high school. And once again, the range was different. Some people were doing $50 a month. I had other clients doing $1,000 a month. Whatever the range was, you would then take money out during the child's 4 years of college. If you had put the maximum that you could put by law in, you actually could take out $25,000, $30,000 a year, tax-free, to help pay for college. You do that for the 4 years, and then you let the money regrow, go back up. And at age 30 to 35, you allow the child to take out $25,000 to $50,000 to first-time home purchase, wedding, whatever the child may want. And then you let it grow again until the child is 67 for retirement age. It's no etched in stone. You can use any number you want. I use 67 because it's the full retirement age. And then you take out $1,500, $2,000 a month for the next 20 years to supplement Social Security. People loved knowing that they can contribute something in the early years of their child's life that would benefit their child well into retirement. It was a great, great product. Insurance can do that. Another vehicle that is very prevalent right now, and I talked about this a month or so for you individually, but it works even better for children, are iSavings bonds. Right now, iSavings bonds are paying 9.62% or 9.26. Forgive me for transposing the numbers if I am, but they're paying over 9%. Historically, the stock market only returns 10%. So now you're getting over 9% in a risk-free rate. So the reality is that you can set your child up with a savings vehicle that is paying as much as historical investment rates paid. That is something you can do for as little as $50 as well. Tashawana asked, is a custodial Roth IRA a good investment? So once again, an account is not an investment. What goes into the account is an investment. So a custodial Roth IRA is an account. And I'll look into that, but I'm pretty, my stepdaughter is in the background yelling and it's throwing me off. She's a very vocal child. Normally, when you do a Roth IRA, you are doing an account for someone who is earning an income. If that person earning an income is under 18, you do what's called a custodial Roth IRA. So if you have a child who's working, at your job or babysitting or cutting lawns or whatever they're doing to make money, you still, because they're under the legal age to enter into a contract, you as the parent open that up. What you choose to put in it would be a mutual fund, a stock, a bond. That would be the investment. But the account itself, yes, is a good idea. Custodial Roth IRAs get the thumbs up from Wealth Our Way. So the two things we talked about thus far are the insurance and the savings bond. The last thing that I'll touch on is what we just said, going into a Roth IRA would be mutual funds. Mutual funds are individual stocks that you could show your child what it means to actually invest. You can sit down with your child and go over an actual company. Say, hey, you like Nike shoes? Let's look at Nike stock. Let's look at McDonald's stock. And actually sit down with your child, your niece, your nephew, or what other young person you're talking to, and show them why this company is a good idea to invest in. Doing any of these three things, stocks, mutual funds, ETFs, bonds, or insurance policies, is a great way to change the narrative of spending money that the child will enjoy short term and then not getting any long-term use out of, and helping a child learn to build wealth. So I feel as though there's so much more to touch on in this topic. I will come back on Tuesday and revisit this because I want to make sure that you guys get to answer more questions and understand the depths of why it is a good idea to start building generational wealth in your gifts that you give to your loved ones. With that being said, It's Thursday. You won't see my handsome mug until Tuesday. So have a great, great weekend. And remember, wealth is not only for the wealthy. You guys take care.